Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to another Five Nights at Freddy's video. Today I will be tackling some mysteries, some things that don't add up. Well, for one, did Phone Guy fake his death? This has been a pretty popular theory as of late, and well, let's look at some of the reasons why people think he could have faked his own death. First off, as we know, that the animatronics perform during the day. Phone Guy could have just came by to the restaurant. Maybe he had an extra shift. Work overtime, I guess. He could have recorded Freddy's song and maybe just gotten some groans, and he could have knocked on the door himself. He could have got a recorded screech from an earlier night, as we know. That can happen. I mean, obviously Phone Guy hadn't died on any other of his nights. We will assume he's been working there longer than us, since he is. Okay. Yeah. The Phone Guy, he hints at being there a long time with subtle clues, like, I can't think of one off the top of my head. I'm not helping my argument, am I? But I don't believe that he faked his own death. He knew his death was coming by asking us to check the suits. He knew he was going to get stuffed in there. He wanted to make sure he didn't get swept under the rug. He wanted to be avenged, which goes along with the theme of the story, vengeance. But why would the animatronics do this? Well, obviously, we can tell from the mini games, which I am not going to go into full detail about this. There's plenty of videos on YouTube. They want vengeance. They're angry. They're angry. They want their revenge. The four death minigames in Five Nights at Freddy's 2 explain this perfectly in 8-bit. Give life, give gifts, good life. They're giving these kids new life as animatronics, so they can get their revenge back on the world. They think the animatronics, like Foxy and Freddy, have seen what's been wrong with this world. How children can be so mean. How adults can be so mean to kill children. Freddy sees about this murdered orphan we know as a puppet being killed and not being happy, being forced to haunt a little marionette. That's dark, but it's true. The next thing why I think that this happened is Phone Guy clearly quotes in the second game, because we know this is a prequel. One reason why we know it's a prequel is how can Phone Guy be alive unless he faked his own death, but why would he go back to another... Why would he go back if he faked his own death? Yeah, never mind. But, yeah, okay. So... Okay, Phone Guy quotes that they don't attack children. They've been attacking the staff ruthlessly. They're protecting these poor innocent children who come to this establishment known as Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. So, the animatronics aren't bad. None of them are. And we thought Foxy could have been a good guy. But all of them are, really. I think they have the right intentions on protecting these kids, but they don't know who's good and who's bad. They're protecting those murderers, rapists, and other bad people, all adults in general. But I don't think the animatronics understand this, since they're animatronics, but kids grow up. What do they do when they've been protecting the marionette all of these years? And yeah, protecting them all of these years, and then they finally turn into an adult. They're gonna be forced to kill a newly adult, newly, yeah, whatever. But if this is the case, do they attack teenagers? Do they attack older kids? Like 20-year-olds? They're not kids, but they've just gotten out of that innocent state. I mean, yeah. But I don't see why a adult would go to this place unless it was with kids. But this brings me to the bite of 87. If the animatronics don't attack kids, who did they attack? Well, maybe it was someone trying to hurt a kid. Honestly, it could have been an innocent bystander who just got too close to someone. Maybe it could have been a father and a son. Let's say they go down to the local pizzeria in, I don't know where, but they go down. It's the kid's birthday. The kid goes off to play arcade games. Then Foxy comes out. Oh no, let's take one for in the second game. Let's say Mangle comes out using his wires to get around where he goes. He comes back. The son comes back to meet the father with pizza. The dad sets the pizza on their table and hugs the kid, giving him a nookie to say I love you. Well, Mangle sees this as a threat. He climbs up onto the ceiling, takes his little wired head down while the kid's away, and bites his upper frontal lobe. He goes down. The father goes down onto the floor, helpless. He can't do anything. He's a sitting duck. Mangle attacks again, this time ripping off the frontal lobe. The dad survives, but the kid is traumatized. The father is traumatized too. He has many disorders and can barely walk and can barely think. He loses his job and the kid goes into debt. They go into debt. The kid grows up and seeks vengeance. Maybe his father could have died later. Maybe that kid could be yeah, never mind. Maybe that kid could want vengeance on these animatronics. Maybe this kid is trying to get back at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza by putting it out of business. Yes, that's right. You, Mike Schmidt, in the first game, freshly new adult, take a job at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. You were working the night shift. You listened to the phone guy, but you listened to him get killed. You report this. It gets you fired. You report this. They don't listen. With the intent of getting fired and shutting this place down, you tamper the animatronics before they come alive at night. This is the reason you get fired. Also, an unhygienic smell or odor is another reason you get fired. Maybe since the blood and mucus you got on yourself was when you tampered with those animatronics. Maybe you cut yourself with Foxy's hook by accident when trying to tamper with him to make him bite your jaw. To make his jaw break is what I'm trying to say. So, yeah. This is my theory on every plot in Five Nights at Freddy's 1 and 2. Okay. Bye. Let me ask you guys what you think. So, bye guys.